All right, welcome everyone to Crypto Conversations. I am your host, Nicole, and my co host tonight is Brittany of ShibRobi. We are here tonight to do a crypto mashup between my favorite project, the one I'm CMO of, Red Knight Token, and hers, the one she's CEO of, ShibRobi. So we've got a Red Knight and a Cyborg in the house. Hey. So we're going to give some time for people to get into the room. Those of you who are already here, Jacob, Crypto Wire, thank you so much for joining us. Please share the broadcast. I'm going to do the same on Facebook and Twitter. There, it's clearly done. So hopefully we'll get some folks in here pretty quick. Oh, and let me also get it shared on our Telegram. Crypto Wire, can you do that? I don't know if he's still with me. If he's not, just in case, I'm going to do that really fast.
Doesn't matter. We probably posted it like 5 times today in the chat. It's like, all right, guys, don't forget.
Don't forget. But we always, so everybody's pulling like a double everything in crypto. So people have day jobs, night jobs, side jobs, upside down jobs.
I feel
and then they're in crypto. Jacob says, fellow Texan. So where are you? What city are you in, Jacob? Austin, like everybody else? No, I'm in Houston. So
he's actually in Florida.
Oh, he's from Texas. Okay. All right. That's what's up. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's just start talking about things, right? So both of us are on up and coming projects. We're both getting these pretty crazy accolades and nominations lately. That's wild stuff.
Yeah. It's nice.
Making moves. It's literally insane. Like literally.
You're just like, what? And then you start opening the body and you're like, this is real? Like, right. Okay, like, let me fill all this out.
Yeah, so tell us about that, because I'll share mine, but I'd like to hear yours, because literally it was like that. I was putting grocery in the car because, in our line of work, you kind of can work and live at the same time. So I was walking out and I had some bags and I heard my phone chime in and looked down. I was like, what? But anyway, go ahead and let us know. How did you find out that you were nominated for Forbes Top 30 Under 30?
So I had just woke up, but I was like, it was an hour from waking up. So I still consider that waking up because I need to get coffee in my system. And I was sitting there at my desk and like my watch went off saying that love so-and-so sent you an email. And I was like, what? Like, it didn't make any sense. Like the lady's last name came in before her first name. Like, who's sending me a love letter through my email right now that's like literally for ShibRobi? I'm like, what is this? And I open it. I see the title and I'm just like, no way, like, what is this? And then I open it and it was for education. And it's actually for what we've been trying to implement is the STEAM and STEM education into Web3 and into the metaverse.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So education is sorely needed in crypto, extending into Web3. I mean, I don't know if I want to say bad or good. We have crypto where there's barely enough adoption globally. And already, like, we've evolved so much from just releasing tokens and, having Bitcoin to we're building an entire other world. And we have so many people who haven't even wrapped their arms around the idea that you can invest in digital currency. So education and getting people caught up is like, it's critical. I'm devoting a big chunk of my life to that right now, because I hate seeing it. I hate the fact that people don't know that, like, entrepreneurs who have business ideas have no idea that they no longer have to walk around saying, please, sir, would you give me something to help me with my business? You can literally launch a token and tokenize your idea. I mean, it's definitely doable. It's shocking to me how hard it is to get people out of the mindset of like, get rich quick scheme, fly by night, just all the stuff that you hear that actually is just not true. And how difficult it is and how wide the learning curve is. I think Scooby-Doo likes your background. I do too. It's so pretty.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the days of like putting in $100 to $1,000 and making millions overnight it's gone. You know, like we're bare knuckling it down, if you will, like to the bare bones of what crypto really is, and shaking out everybody that can't really have the patience for the longer term projects. And it's just like sheep days are over. I hate to say that, but unless ETH decides to go to 4,000 overnight, then we're talking like that's what we're talking about. But like in terms of projects now, you have way more that are coming out with utility that's gonna benefit the holders, benefit the community long term. Versus here's your moonshot, no taxes, like no utilities. Like those days are over.
Yeah. Yeah, so the thing I'm always hesitant though to say what's going to happen next in crypto. What we do know is that it's ever evolving, and that whatever tech we had last week is going to get better. It's going to get more complicated, and it's going to become more interesting. So we know that much. But ETH can change all of a sudden, and the market can shift all of a sudden. One thing I also keep saying is, even though we have an overarching bear market in the environment where they call us meme tokens, they call us, they treat us like the stepchildren, but we actually don't have to be subject to a bear market. We don't. Life doesn't actually have to, like, we don't have to ride the same wave as Bitcoin. If we are innovating, if we are having good, strong catalysts on a regular basis, then we actually can. Maybe it's not that life-changing, overnight, next day, invest $17, make 17 million. Maybe it doesn't look like that right now, but I won't say that it's not coming at any point, because one good bull run changes your life.
It really does.
Yeah. Every good
Like
bull run will change
RIP
your
the
life.
old days, like back between like September and December. Like that was a world like no other. And if you were there during that time, like you took a lot of that into what is going on now. And like you said, like not all projects have to experience a bear market. And we pulled out of the bear market, like we were above ground for at least 2 weeks solid for when ETH was down and almost touching $900, and that's really hard to do. And it was just by getting out there and showing the community, like, this is who we are. We're here for you. Like we are a community at the end of the day.
Right. And that is exactly how you do it. So I think that we have to. So there's a kind of a battle in the influencer world. You have a lot of people constantly kind of hammering bear market, bear market, bear market, bear market. But we do have different parts to this crypto sphere. And in the sector where we reside, we kind of get to chart our own course. We really aren't on, unless we put ourselves there, we're not necessarily on the same trajectory. Like SHIB really is on the trajectory of ETH. Every time ETH goes up and Bitcoin goes up, it's literally like the chart pattern is exactly the same. It looks like they're twins, but we're not like that. So I think that since our charts don't look like that and they don't act like that, I don't think we should address them like that. I don't think we should, and I think you agree. I don't think we should teach our communities to talk or think like that. I believe that our communities, and really any token in the world that we live in this altcoin meme token, whatever, redheaded stepchildren, whatever they want to degenerate crypto. But we get to decide based on how hard we're willing to work, how well we do. You just said it. You got out, you pulled out ahead of the bear market in that 2-week time frame, and that just shows it is doable. I mean, and then there's still tokens that are released, and they still have those crazy pumps at the beginning. We know those can be terrifying also, because they are followed by dumps. But there's ways for people to still make money in crypto. You just have to be smart. You have to find good, solid, strong projects, and these are 2 good, solid, strong projects with good, solid, strong people and beautiful communities. And I think that really is why I wanted to do the mashup. When I started seeing some of who was supporting you guys, I was like, okay, wait, let me go take a look over there at the ShibRobi and see what they have going on. So yeah, I wanted both of our communities to kind of connect and just talk and see what we can share and just, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Okay, so I see. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I see some red knightians, some knights, and I see. Oh, there's Mama Joe. Hey, Mama Joe, and lots of ShibRobi people. So, how'd you come up with the name ShibRobi? I know, obviously, it's like a robotics version of Shib, but more than that, I'm sure. What's your inspiration?
So this actually kind of has somewhat of a long backstory, but it's like the story that built ShibRobi essentially. So we were talking about Sheeb and those days being over, and I know for instance those days are over because that was one of the first projects that I ever invested in. So that's where the name Sheeb comes from, and also the little dog head. But from there, it's like, I dipped my toe into crypto basically. And from there, it was like, all right, I'm just gonna dive headfirst.
Yeah,
And I invested into Ryoshi right after that, and it was before ShibaSwap came out, so it was like still kind of baby days of crypto, but it was still fun. It was before I was actually still, or actually even involved in the Twitter world or Telegram, any of that. So I was just on the investment side.
yeah,
And then, you know, along came like the good projects. I invested into Saitama when they launched. And then along came rug pulls after that, and a lot of bot attack projects. I've seen in investments hit millions of dollars and nobody be able to take any money out
yes,
because the devs weren't being held accountable. And that's where the Cyborg aspect comes in, because I was tired of robots. I was tired of all this BS coding that was going on for people to be able to steal money. It's just like, you're stealing hard earned money, whether you think you are or not. Like, just because it's invested into your project doesn't mean that it's worthless.
right,
That could be somebody's last $50 that made them a millionaire, and now they lost everything.
yeah,
And it's like a mental exhaustion from that point on. And you're just like, all right, what can I do?
yeah,
And from then on out, I sat there and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make a project that can, one, fight these bots that are trying to come into projects, two, but also give homage to me entering the space almost over a year ago.
yeah,
And with that being said, we launched on February 5th, and with our contract, it was coded in the contract for snipers not to be able to snipe on launch. And with that being said, we took a lot of their money and they only got one token. Like, all the money they tried to put in, one token. And the money that we took from them, we burned. So it's not like it's sitting in anybody's pocket. It all went to a burn wallet, and it ended up being over 50% of circulating supply.
I
So if
saw
that
your
says
video
anything
talking
about
about
like
that.
how people try to attack projects, that's how
Yes,
much money we took from bots on launch.
yeah. I saw you talking about that on a video, where you went, I think you went live and you were trying to tell your community, okay, I know you see this big crazy fat wallet, don't panic. Here's the strategy. And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And so people do need to know about that. And so I got into crypto, I guess, prior to you, but I started with SafeMoon and then Doge, then Sheeb and Saitama. Sheeb and
Mm-hmm.
Saitama, they were the ones that I was like, the rumors are all true.
What is this? You're like that white little cat sitting on the box. You're like, what is this? Like, how can
Yes,
this happen?
I was taking screenshots literally every day in the fall. Like, uh, am I the only one? Then, of course, I got more involved in crypto Twitter and I realized, no, wait, there's an entire world. So I ended up buying also a bunch of crazy projects too. Some wackadoo. I did an educational space with Gabe from Brew Labs the other night, and we were talking about our wallets of shame. I have a shame wallet where I bought some tokens that make 0 cents, but I didn't know what to look for on a project. I just thought, oh, they're so nice. And I was
Yeah.
already I was I was enamored with the anonymity of crypto at the time. Like, I thought the whole concept of, I have a ton of Ryoshi. I don't know how much Ryoshi, from having Sheeb, and then I did move some of my Sheeb over to ShibaSwap, and so I started getting Ryoshi. I bought Ryoshi Vision when it came out, and then Ryoshi, yeah, and then because it was exciting sounding, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
earned a whole bunch of it in rewards in the staking pools. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
but that wasn't really my worst one. I have some really embarrassing tokens too. And so when I realized like even well-known people becoming spokespeople for tokens isn't necessarily a safe way to pick your token because they don't have any idea what they're endorsing. That you really have to know what you're looking at and that you have to have a strategy. So what I've been teaching people now is what, at least for lay people, because everyday people are not going to read contracts, but they can at least have some like strategic points that they follow every time. At least make sure you know who your team is. Anonymity is not cool anymore. It is good to have a willingly self-doxed team in place that lives somewhere and has a website that is free of misspellings. At the very least, they showed some effort. You're on a good track.
Exactly. That's the first thing that I look for. It's like, oh, a new project launch. Do they docs? When is their certificate coming out? Like if they're doing a contract audit, and then I look for spelling check errors because I just go through and I can see those visuals in my head with the main bullet points that I'm looking for, and I'm like, all right, spell check time. And I literally go through a website and I'm like, oh man, like why'd you have to do that?
It's disappointing because if it doesn't hit just this initial safety check, I literally can't do it. And sometimes I want to, but if it's a token that has that, then I think, the truth is, since there's really very few barriers to entry in crypto, like almost anyone, like a 10-year-old kid could launch a token. I understand that there's a possibility for there to be errors just because of being a novice. So I might want to invest in something, but because I've made a decision, like I have no more room for, maybe they just don't know. None of that, because that's cost me money. So if the website can't spell, I don't care. I don't care if it's a language barrier. I don't care. You got to know how to spell on your website. Like this is technology. At the very least, you can find spell check in all the languages that matter and you can apply it to your website. Like this is a thing that's possible. So, okay, so that's good because Red Dye Token is very similar. This is why I said yes to this project. So my background is strategic marketing in everything but crypto. And but I was looking for a project to bring my expertise to. And I told you I do have my sights on releasing a token in the not too distant future. However, this one I'm committed to on the executive team. And the reason why is because it was focused on providing a secure environment for people who are investing, period. I mean, if there are going to be companies that do that and do so with excellence, those are the ones that I want to support. So that's a great space that's a lot of, when I was saying in our chat, we have some intersectionality. That's it right there, making sure that people have safe investing opportunities. What we're wanting to do is offer a form of insurance for people who have experienced rug pulls. We're finding that tech is quite challenging to create. And there's a lot of legislative hurdles to overcome. So it's quite a process to do. But this is what we want. We want to make it that it's a safer place. So I don't know how it's ultimately going to look. We're looking at just various methods of creating that safety net for people. But what you're talking about and what you guys have done that's literally proof of work. That's work being done. So I know you've got a solid community. Tell us a little bit about how your community is responding. I see them. They're very active. They're wild. They're wild cyborgs, but I love them. I love it. I'm proud to be a part of the Red Knight community. I love when communities come together the way that you guys have and ours have. But just tell us a little bit more about how all of this is working, the trajectory, how things have come about. I know you said that you did this as a result of what you experienced and what you saw, but you went live in February. Without revealing too much of the secret sauce, how did that actually happen? Like, what did you do? How did you even say, bing, I know, I'm going to release a token? Because even though I tell my students in my crypto training class, anybody can do it, I really wanted to have you here too, so they could see, yes, ladies, gentlemen, we can all do this. So I'm asking because I want them to hear it from the horse's mouth, somebody who's actually launched their token and is living through the nightmarish reality. Hold on one second. Mike, water. I'm sorry. The nightmarish truth of that and the beauty of it as well.
So, in all honesty, you know, it completely ties back into community 100% because if it wasn't for community, I wouldn't have been able to build my starting team that I had, you know. It's like I learned about Riley and his contract work through a project that we were actually both kind of somewhat involved in, and he helped try to revive it. And I'm like, all right, this contract work is actually pretty dope, you know, like you want to help me launch this, but like we need to put something in there to get back at these people, you know, because it's just like we all kind of got screwed by that. And it was just like, okay, like we're bringing a little piece of a community back to another project. And we all wanted to do a meme token. So it's like, all right, let me think about this. And I came up with the ShibRobi, and I'm just like, all right, this is perfect timing. You know, ETH is still somewhat good. And I decided to launch in February just because you know, it was still somewhat okay. It was a little bit stabilizing, but it wasn't anywhere near what it was back in December. So I'm
Mhm.
like, this is the time, you know, like we have to do this. And we launched, and when we launched, we actually got bot attacked in our Telegram. So people were panicking and they started dumping on us. And then we got scammed by a influencer, is what he wanted to call himself. And then people again dumped. And that's when I had to come out and dox myself because I wasn't gonna do it. For one, it's just like I'm a female launching a meme token. Nobody's gonna take me seriously.
Yeah.
And then, like for instance, there wasn't another female leading a token before I came
Yeah.
out and opened my mouth. It's just like I launched this. I'm leading this. I'm it's going through hell right now essentially, and like I had to come out and dox myself. And when people heard the way I spoke about what was going on, and you know, I could actually see my story, it's when ShibRobi actually took back off. Essentially, it's like, yes, this is what I wanted you to believe in. You know, we are a meme token, but I'm not somebody who's sitting behind a screen taking your money at the end of the day.
Right.
That's not what I'm doing. We are donating to robotics programs to underprivileged and underserved children. We are implementing STEAM and STEM education into the blockchain. So it's just like people that think meme tokens take money from their holders is absolutely absurd. You know, it's like you put in the hard work and you will be rewarded tenfold, whether
Right.
it be with a successful project, an amazing community. And, you know, like because of this community is the reason why we are shining right now. Mama
Yeah.
Joe stepping in was my biggest blessing because I was kind of like holding on to the reins. It's like, all right, I'm trying to pivot right now, but it's like I need a little bit of extra push. And like she was that missing puzzle piece that I needed. She
Right.
brought over a lot of guys that had been the rest of our backbone because Jake was pretty much our solid like shoulder, you know, like the rest of the team had been pretty busy with their day jobs and everything else. So it's like crypto operates 24/7. As long as
Yep.
you put in the work, you'll be rewarded.
I'm so glad you said that because our community, and I don't know, I see Beast is here, Texas is here, Crypto Wire, he just joined our team. Praise the Lord. And you'll hear me reference God a lot because I believe that faith matters in business. I wouldn't do anything without my faith at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so important, like in the times that even if I don't feel that we're necessarily subject to everything that happens in an overarching bear market, a slower market is hard on any community.
Mm-hmm.
And if they since we are re-educating people about the get rich quick concept of crypto, it's really difficult sometimes to get them to realize, like, hey, if all four of us aren't here in Telegram, it's not because we've given up by far. It's literally because somebody's probably somewhere digging a ditch to bring in some extra money, or somebody's working on a project somewhere else to bring in money. You know what I mean? Like, there's a real pull happening to try to make sure the project stays on the rails and not
Mm-hmm.
falls off. We actually care. And I know I speak for you as well. We care what happens to the money that's been invested. Like, this vision is the vision of crypto is it's a level playing field. It's the place where anyone can become wealthy. Any
Mm-hmm.
human being with any ounce of faith in what they're, investing in, if they can stay the course, can actually build a future. And
Mm-hmm.
this is to have people scammed or give up too quick or so fearful because they've been scammed. Like, if I had given up after the 4 or 5 rug pulls that I endured, I wouldn't be on the executive team of a token. I wouldn't be considering my own project. I wouldn't be educating people through my own company. You know, so we have to stay the course and we have to show people how to do that. So I really commend you. You are fortunate. I see Mama Joe all up in the comments. She is such a beautiful soul and greatly encouraging. My nose is getting red because that makes me emotional when you said that, because I know her heart is just so good. So yeah, you are, that's fortunate. That's good energy to have on your team. And so I'm glad to hear that, because I feel like I said, our team, our community has endured that of late. Our guys, so Texas, Marmar, and Isaac, you know, they've been also working other jobs to try to make sure that they can eat, because everything else goes into the project. And you know, it's not that there is a time when devs were driving Lamborghinis and their community is like, I just need to warm up these noodles and make it one more week. I'm gonna hodl. Let's hodl. But this is not the kind of teams that we're talking about right now. We're talking about teams that are all you see is our elbows, because we're working and we're focused. And go ahead, are you gonna say something?
Oh, no, I was kind of agreeing with you. It's just, I had a thought too now you say that, though. It's like going back to the team thing. It's like you have to check back in on your team too, because they do put in the effort. It's like Doug, for instance, like I'm always checking in on him, like, Doug, you okay, bro? Because like he has to pick up more jobs now, just because like crypto isn't picking up. And it's not to say that we're not paying him, because we have paid him, but it's just like the money that we can't afford to pay him is not going to be able to suffice his income, you know? Right. So it's like you always just have to check back in on everybody else. And it's like you said, the Lamborghini days are over. Like we have to put in the work now. Like elbows are grinding.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? But the more we educate and the more we bring in investors with the right mindset, we actually will grow. And they will see, we'll see pumps, we'll see high moments, we'll see peaks, we'll see opportunities for people to take profits in the healthy way. I think too, these quiet times are the opportunity to teach people how to take profits without destroying projects, how to, you know, benefit from their, who wants to invest in a cryptocurrency and never be able to take profits? You said something, you know, like that's for the birds. Like nobody wants that. Nobody wants to say, oh, I gave, you know, my money for 6 weeks. I was consistently putting in $50 or $100 or whatever bucks, and I never made anything out of it. Who wants to do that? And who wants to even promote a project where all we're saying is hodl and never saying, okay, grab some cat? Like, you know, who wants to do that? I don't. I want to have the days where we can all take profits and celebrate and then keep building or biddling, you know? So I think that's too, like just building healthier communities. In our case, we have seen so much creativity come out of our communities, as well as administrative people. Like we have some of our mods have come out of the community. Our NFT artist, our NFT artist has created over 2,000 pieces of artwork, and he came from our community. He literally didn't even like, as an act of service. We haven't even finished talking to him about what all this looks like, but he literally just said, here you go. And it was an entire book of artwork ready to go with uniqueness and beautiful, like he created a legend that explained, you know, the story for them and what to look for in terms of uniqueness. Things like that are priceless. And so when you have a community, yep, Combat Grandpa, that's who it is. When you have people who rise to the occasion, you were talking about even how you have to pay sometimes. Like people don't know this, but not everybody on our team even takes a check regularly. Like we get it how we live through our other means. So but when you have community like that, then you want to create projects that are responsible, where the community is responsible, the dev team is responsible, and then as they say, like in the rep world, we all gonna eat. Like we all eat together, we all do well together. That's what we're focused on. So I love hearing that. Anyway, so y'all launched in February. You had the controversy, you had the dumping. Ugh, we've had some stuff happen too. It's been we launched in March, and it's been a hard 3 months. Not even gonna pretend. It's been hard. It's one of those get it how you live kind of. Are you struggling, Rob? He said he's having trouble learning how to do YouTube. Why are you struggling how to do YouTube? All you gotta do is click and watch. But what I do want you to do is make sure you subscribe, set your alerts, and keep track, because I'm going to be posting a lot of content from really all of our team. I want to do stuff on ShibRobi. I just want to continue. Thank you so much. My daughter is being super helpful. She brought me some. But we do want to have tons and tons of good content available. I mentioned that Crypto Wire has joined. Okay, this is not the official announcement, but it's kind of official. So Crypto Wire, for all of the Red Knights who didn't know this, he's officially part of the executive team now at Red Knight Token. So he's going to be helping with marketing and promotion. So yay. I'm excited. So follow his channel too, because we're going to be doing a lot more on this side of things. Anyway, yes, Michael King says, be a responsible whole. It's super, be a responsible whale, excuse me. Yeah, who wants a whale that gets in the water and just starts slapping his tail around and killing all the small fish? Exactly. That's cruel. Like, exactly. It's cruel. I gave an example. I was talking to somebody, I don't remember who I was talking to, but when you see whales, you always see these teeny tiny fish all around them. Mm-hmm. So when they're swimming, there's like tons, like zillions of fish around them. And those fish feed on the things that the whales drop. So if a whale eats something and it leaves like pieces, it feeds on that. It eats off of the whale. It like cleans like stuff off the whale. Like those fish live on what the whale provides. Mm-hmm. So in the real ecosystem, the fish that are around the whale are sustained by the whale. They're not destroyed by the whale. So we've created a beastly crypto has created a ghastly version of what a whale is supposed to do. And we have to redefine that. We have to find whales who are benevolent and who don't want to see we don't want to see them destroy the fish. Like, why? Mm. We're becoming whales. What kind of whales? Like, we want those nasty rogue whales to get out of the water and stop doing bad things. It's awful. Exactly. It's awful. Exactly.
We say it all the time, like, oh, like, we have a big dump. Like, all right, let's get them out now before, like, we actually have the bigger ocean to swim in. You know, like, we need the bad whales out first. Who cares? Like, we promote responsible selling and buying, because we're not going to sit here and tell you can't sell. You know, it's not ethical in the space. And if you can't sell, like, we'll figure out how to get you the money, so that way everything is compensated for at the end of the day. You still have your investment and everybody's happy, you know, but it's like, there's a good whale and there's a bad whale, and the bad whales need to just make their exit nice and quiet.
Yes, please. Otherwise, I mean, somebody needs to do, I'm going to see if we can do an animation or get an animation that shows how real whales actually function. They're surrounded by all kinds of different ecosystems. Mm-hmm. Well, they are an ecosystem, and then they have like different sizes and different schools of fish that float with them. And all those fish seem to like they're doing just fine. They don't look like they're struggling. They get sustenance, not sorrow. Mm-hmm. This has to change. So that's cool. I really love that. So what's next for ShibRobi? Okay, so you talked about the February launch, the heartache. I love that you stopped the snipers. That story should be told everywhere. Y'all need something like, you need a shirt that has like a, you know how the sights from a gun? Yeah, like or something like that, but with the Borg kind of, I don't know. You need to figure something out like that. As y'all part of y'all's merch. Yeah, trickle down whaleonomics. I like that. I like it, Del. But so somehow you've got to start telling that story like even more, because I think people are searching for projects like that, and they're also searching for those Robin Hood stories in crypto. Mm-hmm. Truly, literally, that's honest. Why do you think people came to crypto? They're looking for Robin Hood in the first place. You just have the ones who are they again, you have the rogue people, but this is still a Robin Hood environment, right? It's a wealth transfer, but it can be done with integrity. It doesn't actually have to be a robbery. It can literally just be where we build wealth for, you know, the everyday person. So anyway, I do think, tell that story more because it's really awesome. So what is next on you guys' agenda?
So right now I'm actually working on a version 2 of our white paper. That doesn't mean that we're having a relaunch, it's just an updated white paper because it's kind of out of date at this point because next Friday is actually our 6 months since launch. And like that's a big thing, you know, like being able to survive a bear market. We're still here 6 months later. A lot of meme tokens are either rugging at this point or they're just trying to release something to keep the trickling going, you know, like the sideways trading. But with that being said, too, we are working on this application platform. If you would, I would say it's more of a platform. I'm going to call it the Steamverse, and it implements every aspect that Steam has to offer: science, technology, education, art, math. Yes, that's it. Sorry. And there's going to be 5 different sectors of each like avenue of STEM and STEAM, so that way you can learn each different subject on your own pace and on your own level. And there's going to be a little side story implemented into it that you start building your own ShibRobi. So like with every level, it starts getting a little bit harder, you know, like that's something that I would like to implement, but for now it's going to be like mostly education, but it's going to be in the metaverse. So it's either a virtual reality, you can do it in the Oculus, or on your laptop, you know, it's all in like 3D or whatever like platform it has to offer. It's going to be actually like visually appealing. So like with COVID and lockdowns, a lot of children experience burnout, distractions, and they didn't want to do their homework. They didn't want to do their assignments because it's like, I'm at home. Why do I have to do this? So like a lot of educators and a lot of parents need a way to implement education with it still being fun and not being distracting, and it being a way that the kids still want to learn. It's like, oh, this is fun, you know, like this is a typical learning. Like I'm playing a video game right now, basically. Like they don't consider it learning. And like that way of teaching to some children, it actually implements into their brain a lot quicker because they like video games at the end of the day. Yeah. So, and like, it's also offering a new technology to teachers and educators, and giving back to children will actually benefit your economy long term in technology because you're teaching kids more tech.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. So I'm trying to see who this was. I have my private group on Facebook is streaming this. I want to see who that was who's saying that. It may be an actual educator, but let me just get this open. But they're saying they love that. I do too. I think it's absolutely incredible. Anything that we can do. I know Crypto Wire also he was talking about us doing something like crypto for kids or something that teaches them not just everyday financial literacy, but literacy around the space in general. So that they are not, you know, I don't think that traditional education has ever done a good job of just teaching kids practical economics. Oh, it's Ashley. Okay, welcome, Ashley. Yes. Oh, it's okay. It's fine. So taking it to thank you though, because it helps me not to have to try to be distracted and look down on Facebook and see. Girl, because I'll be like, okay, who is that? Oh, wait, hang on a second. But I really love that. Do you guys have a roadmap in terms of time frame yet, or is it just kind of in its seed form and you're working through strategy and details?
It's in its seed form right now because we are still trying to figure out the educational platform, because 5 different sectors of education itself is a lot. And like you have to implement ways for every way of learning that a child has, whether it be visual, like hands-on, you know, like experimental, like all of the different ways that children learn, you know, like you have to think about that when building an educational platform. So we are actually talking with a professor right now in Australia that is going to be helping us build some of the platform right now, but for a lot of the other bigger things, I am going to be reaching out to more professors as well, and other people that have wrote like top-notch papers on education, or some that have like they want to dip their toes in crypto at the end of the day, you know, like they're like, I have this platform that I want to build myself, how can we work together? Because there are so many different retail companies, educators, like scientists, like researchers that are trying to get into crypto and they have no idea. And like this is another way for them to be able to get in. It's like, okay, I want to teach. Like, what do you want to teach? I'm listening. Like, how can we work together?
Right. I love that. Yeah, so maybe also like, that might be something, since you mentioned Oculus, you might want to talk to Meta about it. I know they have a lot of small business initiatives. So remember, I'm a marketing person and my brain is already over here churning. I also had this other thought, so I'll just share it with you real quick. I know we're talking about the metaverse, but imagine if you had technology centers in lower provided for areas where kids could go and use Oculus to enjoy exactly what you're talking about, because a lot of kids won't have access to Oculus in their homes, especially in the target that you're, the kids you're talking about. So I wonder if there could be some form of technology center. Maybe we could talk about that offline. Yeah. So, and you can
that's definitely something that I have thought about too, because a lot of parents are like, oh my gosh, I have to buy an Oculus. And it's just like, you don't for right now, because I would like this to also be like available on desktop. So that way it's still the same learning. You're just not like immersed into it,
Yeah. Truth be told, a lot of parents, they may say that, but their kids start hitting a certain age, they're going to buy them because the kids are going to be, maybe I'm funny, but when my kids started asking for stuff, as long as they remain the good kids that they are, it lands on their Christmas list and I do it. Most parents are like that, but the ones who can't, I get it. Just anyway, there may be a way. There may be a way. And yes, desktop, also even like an app on the phone, like apps, man, that's such an easy way to deliver tech to people. Kids love apps. My daughter, I have a 7-year-old daughter who, even so, she's homeschooled, and even most of our homeschool, a lot of it she can self-pace right from her iPad because it's all in apps. Every single program I use has an app counterpart. So that's kind of their culture. So I love what you're doing. I think it's absolutely amazing. And based on the comments, so do our viewers. Yes, we are up for the hard work.
I definitely love that learning center idea though, because there was something that I went to growing up that was a learning center, but it was just like one of those science centers. It was totally a STEM center, but like I didn't realize it until I grew up, probably like not when I grew up, but I didn't realize that until probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm like, oh man, like this is why I wanted to go back so much. Like this was sick. I had every aspect that STEM had to offer at the time, and it was all hands on. And you could actually implement virtual reality stuff into that. It's like, okay, your field trip is going to include this for the day,
Yes. I remember those. They like moving exhibits and centers and places like that. Rob Underhill just said, I'll buy a big truck and we can tour the US giving kids the experience. Listen, that's what I'm talking about right there. See, that's what crypto is all about. Community coming together and actually doing big things. Like we don't have to have, these are our board meetings right here. These are the wood panel board meetings that nobody can get into, but we're all in right now on a live stream, and ideas are being generated and teams are coming together. So this is how it works. And so for the ones who are my students who are here, and I tell you guys that it looks like this, it literally looks like this. It's, like this 7 p.m. here. Brittany's on Mountain Time. What time? So it's what, 6 o'clock?
It's 6:45, yeah.
6 something. Okay, 6:45. So, we're just talking kind of informally, and Rob is a member of both communities. He just said that. So I don't know if we'll get to that point, but it's on the air now. It's a conversation that can be had. And you know what? There's organizations that have funding for experiences like that. So I love it. Absolutely love it. Yes, mobile. That's right. So nobody has to miss out on things like this. And so we at Red Knight Token, we have been all just really diligent on the concept of education to avoid calamity. So anyway, we can partner on that. We're interested. We are interested. Rob's asking Mama Joe what time it is in Australia. What time is it in Australia? It's probably like
No, I think it's like 9, 10 a.m. probably.
Yeah, it's morning time. And she's rowdy already. Like, good
Go.
morning. Okay, Delt says maybe you could incorporate some investing learning where if kids complete certain tasks, they get certain amounts of tokens on the app to invest or buy upgrades for their merch. Hey, that's cool. That's cool.
You know, that's actually, it was going to lead me into my next thought. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, and it would be super sick to sponsor like a little 5-day, like 4-night summer camp, but it'd be like Steam, and every day is something new, and you earn tokens or whatever to spend at concessions. So that way, while you're there, you're also learning how to use crypto accordingly.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, there's a gas fee today. Like, let me incorporate that into what I have to give them, you know?
Yeah, I love that. I was watching because I told you about wanting to launch a token. And I was talking with my students about this. And so I've been doing a lot of research and I was watching this video the other day where a dad instead of giving his kids allowance, what he does is he gives them crypto tokens. And then they can use those tokens to cash out for different privileges or different things that they want to do in the family. So if they want to take a trip, if they want to go somewhere, if they want to, use it for time on their games or television time or whatever, they use their crypto.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually preparing them for a real future. Like, I know it's hard for people who've already lived with just a life of fiat. It's hard for them to see, but every day, even though adoption is still really low for a world that has 7.7 billion people, excuse me, adoption is happening. There are more and more places that are, accepting Bitcoin, that are even accepting Shib,
Mm-hmm.
So, having some sort of practice where kids are learning to use and respect crypto as a form of payment is not so outlandish.
Mm-hmm.
There's different schools of thought, but I don't think it's outlandish. There's people who will tell you it'll never be. I'm not ever saying it's a replacement, but I will say it's a contender. There's lots of people who would rather have their money in digital currency than in fiat currency. So
Mm-hmm.
that's not unusual. Anyway, so I love that. Let's see what the comments are saying. Okay, that was Delt. So Ashley is saying she's glad she heard this. She understands how. Yep, exactly. So she's one of my students. She understands how crypto is impacting the world. It's like another piece of the puzzle coming together. Awesome. What's Delt saying? This is crucial because we will all be leaving our crypto empires down, living, yes. And we want to know they will know how to be responsible with what we leave them. Absolutely. I totally agree. They should. I've felt for a long time and do practices. They have wallets. They don't know. They don't know what's in their wallets, but they have wallets. But just enacting some sort of practice where they are utilizing the tokens. I have one daughter who's an artist, and so I've been talking to her about putting some of her work out just as NFTs, just regardless of whether or not they sell, just for the sake of experiencing listing art the way art will be listed in the future. Oh, Mama Joe said it's 10:45 in Australia. Anyway, so that is fantastic. So I think that's another place of intersectionality for us between the two teams. Okay. So that's what you guys are moving to. Yes, business beast. That's right. That's what a mashup is all about. It's not just a chit chat. It's for the two communities to know each other. It's for the heads of the communities, the teams. We've got Texas in the comments. I saw him a little while ago. But for the people who are responsible for making these communities go, let me see. I don't know if any of them are planning on jumping on it all, but it's for people to be able to kind of feel each other out and see what ways we could possibly ever work together and how we can, assist in bringing each other's vision to people. That is important. Hang on, I'm trying to give them the link to see if anybody wants to jump into there we go. Back to there. Okay. And you can invite anybody from your team to jump on. We can fit a few heads on the screen.
Let's see. I'm actually on my phone right now, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, if they want and they come into the what is this? Broadcast room, this room, I'll let them in. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so that is what's on the, that's when you're on your mind for what's next on the roadmap. Then that's really awesome. And then okay, so surviving, even though we're not saying we're necessarily subject to the bear market, we do have to figure out ways to help our holders get returns during a bear market. So is that what you're looking at as far as next catalyst? Or I know I saw something where you were talking about an NFT drop. Are y'all doing that, or is that going to be kind of held for a minute? Or
I mean, we do have some NFTs that are dropping, and I know your community is, some of them aren't really involved in ShibRobi, so I'll just tell you about them really quick. We have 100 of these, and they are going to be 3D replicas of our Shibor that is our mascot. And it is going to be in a box that is essentially like a toy box, if you will. And the utility of this is actually going to be a real life replica, like a mini replica of the ShibRobi itself. So what the NFT is what you are going to be getting in person. And I say we're going to have 100 of these, but only 90 of these are going to be up for mint. We're saving 10 of these for giveaways and contests and people that can't afford mints at the time or whatever, because it's like, we've been spending a long time on these because I want these to be perfect. They're over 50% done in production right now with the action figures. And everything's just like coming together right now with these, but I'm just waiting for the right moment to actually like push the visuals out for right now. The team has seen it, everybody's seen it. So I definitely need to send you what I got.
I love it. That's awesome. So with ours, we have, so it has taken, with so many pieces, it's taken quite some time to get the NFT contract finished and get them uploaded. We just got our OpenSea test page. We just got it back, and it looks really good. It looks really, really good.
That's great.
Yeah, we're very excited about that. It's got 2,000 pieces. I don't know how we're going to sell 2,000 pieces right away, but we have the assets up. And what we're doing is something similar. We have special edition merch only for the NFT drop. We're doing some giveaways of that merch, and then some of it will be in the store, and then it will be limited to, so we have a merch store. So in the merch store, the quantity available for sale will stop at that number, and then after it's hit 1,500, we're releasing 1,500 of the pieces. So after it hits 1,500, there will be none available whatsoever. So that's how it's going to go. It's limited edition.
Exactly.
But Isaac and I were working on one of the limited edition pieces today, and it is so fire. It's literally, it's not a replica, but it's something that that they can use. I don't know if I should tell it. Do I want to tell it? No, I'm going to wait. Yeah, because so what we've been doing, since our nights our theme is based on yeah, Beast, I'm sorry. So I've been doing a noble quest with my nights, and just help kind of as we move towards the NFT drop. I know that it's hard to wait, and so I wanted to help them experience what it's like to sort of experience working towards a quest like a knight would. And so I've been giving them riddles and just kind of trying to reinforce the culture of a knight and just that Arthurian time. And it's a whole vibe. And I was like,
patience is a virtue, that's what is patience. Like, oh man.
Rob said I tease too much. I don't tease too much. Okay. All right. So I'll tell what one of the things is. It's not so the Noble Knight quest is fun. Let me tell you. So I've been giving them these medieval riddles. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm very much into theme oriented. I feel like if you're gonna have a brand, the brand needs to I know, Rob, but Beast distracted me. So I think that your brand needs to tell its story every waking moment. So if we're Red Knights, then we're going all the way back to Arthur, Guinevere, Gawain, and all of them.
Yes, you have to embody the whole spirit.
Yeah, all of it except just the digital version, right? So what in the process of waiting for the NFT contract to get back, to give them some more, like insight into our brand, I launched this Noble Night Quest. And so we've been doing like these very bizarre medieval riddles, and they've done two big ones. I'm going to give them one more big one before the launch. And so anyway, Rob, I'm going to tell you what one of the items is. So we have a special edition. It's a varsity jacket, but it's really cool because it's also got a series. So it's got some patches that are coming on it, but then we're also making a patch store inside of our store. So for every catalyst, there's going to be a patch released, and then if you want to buy the patch, you can have patches added. So just like when when a player graduates, or a person does something in school and they earn a patch, you'll be able to do the same thing with your varsity jacket. But there will only be 1,500, just like in school. Only the team can have them. So there'll be only a select few will ever have these jackets. And so that's one of them. It's really cool though. It's beautiful. So
that's actually really sick. I love that idea.
Yeah, it's so dope. Oh, it's so dope.
Yeah. Yes.
We were looking at different styles today, and it's really like, yeah, it's gonna be, yeah, I know. See what I'm saying? They're always these ones. I love these guys. They are truly my knights, but they mess with me.
Bro,
yep, that's right, Texas. They do look awesome. They're beautiful. I was throwing some samples into our private chat. So that is one of our limited edition items that we're gonna have available. So we're gonna give away some, and then people will be able to buy them, and then they'll be able to go to the patch store forever. And then we'll always have patches for every major catalyst to add to it. So it's gonna be dope. Yes, Rob. It comes in it comes in big boy sizes. Yes, it does.
That was we have this community member. He goes by the name of Poop. He came up earlier, Michael. And anytime we go to release merch, like, we always have to consider him, because he's like, I'm an XXXL, like the biggest size I make. Like, I need some poop gear.
Well, it is important, because especially for those who really support, you don't want like to have something super special come out and then they can't have it. That's disappointing. So
he's gonna get one of every kind of merch that comes out that he's interested in. Like, all right, Poop, I got you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's possible that, so even that, in crypto, it's not impossible to care about one person at a time, even in a big group of people. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's important. That makes a difference with women at the helm. You know something?
Yes.
It does.
We think about things that other people do not, like measure twice, cut once. We got to think about everything a little bit more thorough, and we're good to go.
You know what? And I'm not even being funny. It makes a difference. And shout out to my male counterparts. I see Texas in here somewhere. Texas, I love y'all. But it helps to have women on the team. It just does. Women helping make the decisions. It matters.
Mm-hmm. And me and Mama Joe talk almost every day. We're like, all right, we need to do this. We need to do this. Like being able to, like, I would not be able to talk to a guy like that. They'd be like, why are you telling me what to do? Like, because I'm your boss.
Like, it's my job.
Yeah, I don't want to do it, man, but I gotta do it.
Like, we have to actually keep this project going. Yeah. So Rob says, I posted yesterday my crypto heroes were, and it was the 3 ladies on here. So that was me, you, and Mama Joe. I tell my 10-year-old daughter about all 3 of you and the change you are making. Rob, that's so dope. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have daughters too.
Shout out to Mama Joe.
Yes. Shout out to Mama Joe for sure. Man, even before I'd ever talked to her in person, just she would come into spaces and everybody would be like acting all stupid in the spaces, and let Mama Joe start talking. It's just like quiet. Just quiet.
Got her wooden spoon out.
Yeah. Did you say a wooden spoon?
Yes. Just wooden spoon. She'll get you with her wooden spoon. Watch out.
My
Oh.
mother used to have a wooden spoon for that purpose. I
Yeah, I
like
feel
calling it a wooden
that.
spoon. She didn't actually use it though. She used to just wave it around like, I'm gonna get
Exactly.
you
It's like
that
the
one.
flip flop, like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Texas says yes. Shout out to all the amazing women in crypto. Yeah, and so that's another thing. I want as more women find their way to leadership, or even if they don't, but they're trying. I really want to highlight them wherever we can open doors at Red Knight. We want to. We'll do our best. Obviously, we're in growth mode, so we can't put a lot of high paying jobs on the payroll right now. But one thing we can do is show the way and teach people how to make their own projects. So that's something.
Speaking of showing people the way, that was actually a really good punchline there. Mandox is actually coming out with a new tribe of NFTs, and it's going to be all about supporting women in Web3. And they actually have a Telegram inviting all of the women in Web3 to come join. So, need to send you that link. Yes.
Please do. Yes, please do. I would love to have that because I don't ever trust anybody's Telegram links unless they come from somebody that I trust.
You trust me on this one. This is Telegram advice. Trust me.
Yes, I don't want to miss out on that. So absolutely. Wow. Do you know when it's coming out?
I do not. They gave us a teaser, and that's about it.
That's another good
Not like about it, but they've given us details, like about what the collection is going to be, and those details, but not release dates.
That's cool. So that's another one that started with charitable giving in mind. They started with, I think, church missions. I think, isn't that how that was their origin story? Yeah, that's so cool. I'm all about that. When I said my faith does not separate from my work, I mean that. Like it doesn't. I think it's important. Otherwise, I don't think I'll end up doing worthwhile work. So can't separate them.
Exactly. Like you got to give back to the people that don't have the chance to be where you're at right now. Like you be their stepping stones to be able to have a better future.
That's right. That's right. Wow. Okay. Well, let's see. So we've covered our NFT drops. We've talked about STEM education and our both of the origin stories for our tokens. We're just glossing over stuff like we're ice skating.
Elbows.
Oh, he says, Rob says he started to notice that women investors do not freak out as easy as guys do, so they don't dump as much from emotions. Yeah, Rob. That's true.
Yeah, what I mean? Like everybody just like hitting the keyboard really quick. Like I see something and I'm like, let me go to the admin chat really quick. Like, what is this? Like if nobody has any answers, like go ask somebody else. And if that doesn't work, I'm on Etherscan myself or whatever it is. I'm like, all right, like let me do my research first before I flip my top.
That is my thing. So now that I'm more conscious of what I'm doing, like before, I'm telling you, I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Look at this. Oh, look at the meme. It's so cute. I was a fool. But now I can laugh at myself and what I did before. And then I certainly am not making those same mistakes. But no, I'm not holding anything stupid. There's one that I like, I'm not going to say the name because I don't believe in FUD. There's one that I made a lot of money from. I probably won't buy any more of, but I'm not gonna dump what I have because maybe I'll make some more. I'm kind of over what they have going on. Yeah, and it ain't Sheeb. I love Sheeb.
I feel that like there's a lot of tokens that are like, oh, I was on the top for a while, or like I was well known for a while, but like I don't really have much to offer right now, like it's not fun. It's just like that shine kind of is a little bit dull now, and like you have a lot more new projects that are kind of climbing their way to the top, and it's like, oh, this is nice, like this one's nice, like what are you guys doing up here?
That's exactly right. So that's the problem. So flash in the pan, glossy at the beginning, and nothing to offer. Like how they say kick the tires and the whole thing just falls apart. A lot of tokens did that. So you have to have the ones that have staying power. Period.
Exactly.
And if anything that's building right now is going to do, man, if it's building now, it's going to do well. it'll probably be called a stable coin one day if it's building now. Even if it's got a meme on the website, doesn't matter.
You never
Because
know, like you said, crypto could be a different world tomorrow. It's just
yes.
You gotta know how to pivot too. That's the good thing about good crypto projects. Like your executive team needs to know how to pivot in a bad time and come out with something that's actually going to benefit the project a little bit better than what you thought you had before was going to do. It's like with us, we came out with a Steamverse, but like that doesn't mean we're taking anything away other than our Robi swap, because there's so many swaps right now that like there's no point. Our play to earn is still coming out, and so is our virtual reality games. Like we're just doing something different, but still the same thing.
So this is funny. So in our meetings, we've talked a lot about all the different things we could do. We could do a wallet, we could do a swap, we could do anything. The problem is, what is the thing that's going to make us stand out? What is going to be not just standing out for the sake of standing out, but what's going to advance the space? Because whatever advances the space is what's going to make things better and what will make people want to buy in. Like, if everybody's got a swap, then you're going to pick the one that the token that has the most people probably, or the one that's the loudest, or the one that makes you feel better. Oh, Texas just jumped in. He's on our dev team. I'm going to have him hop in for a second.
All right.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
How's it going? You got some light? You can get in there? Can't see you too good.
Yeah, I can flicker switcher here. Just give me a brief moment.
Yeah. Yeah, but to be able, there we go. That's better. We'll be able to see him a lot better. What's up?
Right now on my laptop, doing some work.
Well,
I've been in the chat for a minute now.
We got a man on Women in
Crypto. How are you ladies doing this evening?
We're doing great.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. I was just a participant in the audience, just listening to both of you amazing women speak, and I totally agree with that, how this conversation is going. You both are doing an amazing job.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. So that's what we were just talking about, having projects that actually having initiatives and catalysts that actually make a difference, that actually are catalysts. Like, I think we throw the word catalyst around too much, because just because it's something new doesn't mean it makes a catalytic difference in the project.
Yes.
A catalyst gets things started, right? It helps to turn the engine. It helps to make the thing go. And if it doesn't do that, then it's not a catalytic change. It's just an additional thing on the bullet sheet. That's it. So having a swap is important. Having a wallet is important. All the things, right? It's becoming now like that's just the norm. But what is the thing that's going to advance the space? That is the question that we're asking ourselves on a daily basis. And it's the question that we challenge ourselves with, because it's hard to innovate in an innovative space. It's hard. It's also hard.
There's over millions of people and over thousands of projects that are already established or on the up and coming, and everybody's doing something a little bit differently and see something that's wrong in all systems and want to incorporate new things, new ideas, new technologies that aren't really established at the moment. Crypto is forever growing, and all the minds that are here now, we know we can see a future where all these projects have something to offer in this uniqueness, and unifying them all and helping each other grow and get to the levels and accomplish a lot of different things. So I do agree with that.
Yeah, so that's our job, is to find ways to go beyond, and we can. We don't have to be the status quo. We don't have to be in a hurry to just release something to show our people that we've released something. Even if we were to white label, a swap or a wallet, so we have to spend the money to white label it. But then what? We spent the money, but did we innovate? Did we do anything that will make people want to buy when they may have something? Del says he needs a project to pay him to sleep. Now that would be awesome. Well, there's an app that does that. There is an app that will pay you like so much. It's tiny amounts, but they do pay you to wear. I think it works through your Apple Watch or some kind of device. Anyway, you should look into that. But so this is the thing. That's the work before us is to truly innovate in such a way that when people hear what we're doing, it's like, wait, you're doing what? And how? And with who? And and what is the tech that you're using? That's the kind of questions that, like, we get those questions about the insurance, and truth be told, we can't even answer all the questions about the insurance yet because it's such a process to try to figure it all out. But crypto is that's what this uncharted territory is. And if we show up, I think I saw in a video where you were telling your community, Brittany, about a choice you had to make like that, where you were saying, look, I know you guys want this, and I've weighed the decision. So would you share a little bit about that and just what that was like, delivering that information to the community? Because again, our communities are here, and sometimes it's hard for them to know like the agony that goes into making these decisions too. Like, how do we decide what's innovative and what's worth your money, y'all's money?
Yeah, like when I was talking about that was when we were deciding to go with either an exchange or do staking with everybody's ShibRobi tokens. And I literally thought about it for probably like 2 weeks. I'm sitting here doing the math. Like, I have a PDF that I made of like, okay, this is option 1, option 2, option 3. This is how much it's going to cost for this one according to today's price. And then like each day that I was working on it and thinking about it, I would like just adjust the price, and like according to that, like I would reflect to our marketing wallet, and like that's what we spend on the project, and it's like, okay, if we want to be able for this to make sense for the holders, like with staking, we'd have to have 2 different pools. And at the time the ETH was at and what our marketing wallet was sitting at, it was not going to work out for us, and it's like that company understood because it's like we either do half of that and go onto an exchange and get a bunch of new holders and get a lot of new eyes on us because this was an international exchange and it's decentralized too. So it also still benefits the holders. But with the staking, it's like we would have completely wiped out our marketing wallet, and that would have been that. And everybody would have been like, okay, like, what do we do now? It's like, we just spent all of our money to give you what you wanted, but I need to think about this because I'm the one running this. And if we have no money after I do something that the community says to do, and we're broke now, like that doesn't look good on me. And it looks like I'm easily swayed by what other people say. It's like I'm smart with our money, and I'm smart with what we do with our money at the end of the day. And like going on that exchange and still having money left over for our marketing wallet has sustained us from when ETH went from, I think it was 1,500 at the time, or maybe like 1,800, when it went all the way down to 700. It's like,
yeah,
us not having any marketing money at that time, it would have been absolutely devastating for the project. Like would have nothing. So it's like, that was a tough decision to make because, like, of course, everybody wants staking and they want an exchange at the same time. But it's like, with the way the market crashed too, like I don't even know if anybody would have been able to unlock with benefits.
Right. Yeah. So that's a good point. Also, making decisions that make sense, even under pressure, because pressure every day. I'm in our Telegram, I'm in Twitter, I see how our community feels, and because you develop such an affinity for your community, especially the ones that are with you from day one.
Mm-hmm.
It's the desire to keep everybody happy is natural. I think that's also the woman part, right? Like there's a heart that's engaged in this process, but then there's also a brain that's engaged. That's also a trait that women have. We have brains too. And so you have to think beyond, even the tug at your heart. Like, okay, I want them to be happy, but at the end of the day, the decisions that are being made, the choices that are being made, even in our NFT drop, we had some little bumps in the road, and we needed to make sure that the community stayed happy. I already knew they didn't want to wait, but I had to make sure that they could sustain. We lost Texas. but we had to make sure that they could sustain, during the process. And so it wasn't easy, but we had to do it. We had to do it. And like, it was worth, I put them on a quest and we are on the quest. And now here we are about to, find the treasure, because we're almost at drop day. So, sometimes we do have to make tough decisions. We have to stick to it. There are things like having bumps in the road that make you want to, sometimes, not me, but different things might make you question, like, man, make different people question, like, is this something that I stick with? We have to show up every day so that our investors show up every day, so our holders stay in every day. Wait, what is Rob saying? This is extremely important. So, Nicole, you all need to look into a secure way for loved ones to get into their partner's wallets in case they happen to suddenly pass and never shared their seed phrases with their spouse. Oh, my Lord. Wow. Does that happen a lot where they don't share with their spouse?
That's a little sus.
They need to get CryptoSteel and then make sure the CryptoSteel is in the safe deposit or the safe, and that way somebody always can get it. Like, just put this. Where's my CryptoSteel? Get one of these. This is one. This is not my. I'm not using this one, but Ledger sells these. Have y'all ever seen these? So it's literally an indestructible thing that's made to hold seed phrases. So if there's a fire, you write it and you stick it in here. I think you're supposed to put it through this little thing. I don't know about that part, but it's totally indestructible, waterproof. It screws. It's got a long thread, so it screws on. And I would say, instead of you're just not gonna tell them. At least put this in where your personal effects would be found, and label it. At least that's one way.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that guy that I can't remember what coin that was, but like they made a documentary about him on Netflix, and like he died, and like nobody knew the seed phrase to his wallet, so like a lot of people lost a lot of money, and like people putting money on ledgers and stuff, like that's another way too. It's like, oh, like I lost all this hardware or whatever. Like the guy that's searching through the dumpsters, like, oh man, why'd you throw that out? Like people need to be more smart with this stuff.
That is terrible. That is terrible. Oh wait, hold on. I will tell Texas we lost him. Okay, maybe he's done with us. It's women in crypto. He's not a woman, I guess. He's probably like, okay. Yeah, that's really bad too. I know with Ledger though, they have Ledger Live. So again, people just need to understand the market, right? So like, if you're using Ledger, you should use Ledger Live. Use the whole thing. Use all the benefits, because you shouldn't lose. You shouldn't lose your stuff. Let me be quiet though, because I'm a human and I could lose mine. Jesus knows I don't want that to happen.
It's like, oh, what did I do with that thing that I said I wasn't gonna lose, and I put away knowing that I'm not ever gonna look there again? Like,
Let me see. Mama Joe's asking me to post the link. Yes, I actually have the safest possible link that you can. I'll get it out of my link tree real fast. But, and I can see too, like even, so I'm divorced and my kids are the ones that would find my things, and they know where, right? Mm-hmm. And they know what, they know where and what, because that's important. I think it's important.
It's like, this is what you do in case of XYZ. It's like you already teach them about weather drills and like lockdowns and everything else. So it's like, this is just something extra you need to know now. Yeah. Like this is the way.
Yes, this is where you find the money. This is the passports. This is the money. Leave. Okay. Okay, so I just put the link to Ledger to the to where their products are, and you can find the crypto steel on their website. I would definitely always recommend getting a crypto seal and putting your seed phrases in that, and then putting it in a safe place. So if you have a personal safe at your house, or a safety deposit bank, or bury it in the garden, whatever it is that you do, that thing is indestructible. It comes with a guarantee in terms of its destructibility. So just look into that. You'll find out. Okay. So we've been here close to an hour and a half. I don't know. What do you want to share with everyone concerning ShibRobi? What is your, your vision for crypto in general? What mark do you want to leave?
Doing what I say I'm gonna do. Like there's been a lot of projects in the past that have just been puffing smoke into the air. Essentially, it's like we need more serious projects and holding devs accountable and doing what we say we're gonna do. Like we say we want to see this be done. And if it's not being done, be the change you want to see at the end of the day. Figure out a way to implement that change that you want to see, and who knows, like somebody could approach you and be like, man, like I've been waiting for somebody to speak up about that. I was too scared. Like, here are my thoughts. And like from then, like you have a completely separate community. It's all about the power of your voice in crypto. And people don't realize that every action has a reaction in crypto. And like it doesn't matter if you're in NFTs or not, like just because like you said something a certain way, like doesn't mean everybody's going to reciprocate that the same way. Like you have to be mindful of everybody in the space and like what's going on. And like that's one thing that like I implemented into ShibRobi too. It's like no drama. Like we don't deal with any of that. Like we do not want anything to do with drama. If you see it, just give it a down vote and go about your day. Like don't be involved with it if you don't want to see it. It's like be the change you want to see at the end of the day. If you don't like something, speak up about it or either make your exit peacefully.
Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement. I do not. I hate the direction that crypto Twitter can take sometimes, especially knowing that I'm working ardently every day to make sure that people know about crypto and become adopters. One of the places I send them is to Twitter, because I know you can find companies, you can find the right links, you can find the right people. But I also know that they have to sift through some of the really loco, really crazy behavior there. And the less you perpetuate it, though, the less you take notice of it, eventually that community will actually become a subset of the community. It won't be it won't have such an amplified voice over time.
Mm-hmm.
The more positive people and the more, positive projects there are, and the more positive attitudes there are, the more loving attitudes there are, the fewer of those ghastly attitudes will be able to sustain. And it's what you said too about give it a downvote or pay it no attention. I've always been a believer in where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you give your attention to foolishness, your energy is foolishness. You'll produce foolishness. If you take it in, you're going to produce it. If you take in angry, disrespectful conversations, then you're going to spend your time telling people, like, this is what'll happen. You'll witness it, then you'll go talk about it. Then you'll talk about it to somebody else. And then by the time you're done, you will have consumed your entire day or week talking about that. And so it created such a that, the incident you witnessed became a snowball, and you became the snowball. And as you went around telling, you picked up dirt and sticks and gum and mud and all kinds of stuff. And it's all on you. It's all part of who you've become. That's gross. Who wants to be that person?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, the old saying, like you attract more flies with honey than you do vinegar. It's like the more negative you are, like the worse off you are.
Yes. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And your projects, that have those kinds of people, I mean, just think about it. There's some, like the people who are just, you said something earlier about how there are teams who don't care, especially the ones at Rug Pull. They'll say they don't think about the fact that maybe that $50 was somebody's hard-earned money, but it is. There are people who are literally putting $10 here, 15 there, 20 there, who are attempting to build a bag that, created a goal, and they're building the bag. And then you rug pull them, you may have just taken their retirement, their future retirement. That's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wrong. And so those kinds of people, if they have less of a nasty environment to thrive in, they won't be able to thrive. And so the more we don't buy into it, then the better off. And the more our projects repel that, then they won't be able to thrive. And I think I'm seeing more and more projects come that have a focus on giving back and education and doing good in the world. So I'm hopeful about that. I'm hopeful about seeing more things that function like that.
It's like empathy, like these tokens that are all about community. We were in the community seat 12 months ago, it was just like, we have to have empathy for the community as a dev, as a founder, because if we don't, we're not going to give two flying monkeys about what happens to the project long term,
Yes, that's right. And truth be told, just like we were just investors a few months ago, there's people right now who are investors who will see and say, wow, I can do that better. And they'll be founders several months from now. So that's the reason why to do well and do good, because maybe they'll want to partner instead of try to outdo. And then two, that's the other reason why it's important to innovate, because you don't want to get pushed out of this space. Like I always say, and I said it a few times tonight, because it is evolving so much, you can be evolved out very quickly, because the next person comes up with something great and they do it with compassion and love and a thought towards doing something good on earth. And then they do it with great tech. They just did it better. So, we want to outdo ourselves all the time. We're only as good as our most recent failures, our most recent successes. That's as good as we are. And so we want to always be doing better. So I know for Red Knight, our goal is to grow our community, to continue to be a close-knit community, to continue to be positive, to be supportive of those who have supported us, to get our NFTs out and really, get them sold and get them launched and get them into people's hands, and actually do our part to help people begin to build wealth methodically, strategically, and build it smart, and just do away with that get rich quick mindset, but to really build something solid that's here to stay. And hopefully, I've said this over and over, I want our community to give birth to tokens and projects and people who, like, I don't think that if innovation is going to come, I hope it comes through our community. I hope people in our community are inspired by the work that we do and they do more. And I hope that we get to help them. To me, that's super exciting. Rob says, great chat, great projects. He encourages everyone that has not looked at either one. Yeah, that's a great idea. Other projects, do their own research and find that both of the projects have great purpose, great devs, and solid communities. Absolutely. Couldn't do it without all of those in the mix. All right. Well, I don't know. Any parting thoughts you want to leave with everyone?
I want to thank the community. Like, we talk about community pretty much this whole time, and like, we have stood solid through a very bearish market, and we are building through a very bearish market. And like, they realize that like the work that we are putting in right now, like, just because we aren't posting about our progress doesn't mean progress isn't being made at the end of the day. Like, if we're in the chat every single day, it's like, hey, we're doing this and we're doing that. We are thinking about you guys at the end of every single day and how your community is benefited at the end of every single day. You're going to have a very strong top 10, a very strong top 20. And that's what smaller projects need, like, so again, like, thank you to the community for being here and for sticking by us this long and like essentially going through a revamp / relaunch for the past few weeks. Like, it's been a fun ride, like, I will not forget these times at all.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So same here. I know I speak for our entire executive team. and say thank you to the Red Knight community. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. I can't just, thank you. The way you guys get up every day and say, time to shill, shill time. I just love it. I honor that commitment. I'm grateful. Marketing is, is my responsibility. So when I wake up every day and I see that there's people, we don't have a big budget to have influencers at all. And we're not really so committed to hiring a bunch of people to stay with us for a month or 6 weeks and then, dump. It's kind of counterintuitive. So when I see the community doing their part to even like they work so hard to get us to go viral, it just like blows my mind. Like they literally, once I told them sort of how the formula works and what to look for, they went further and started researching, okay, so what do you do to go viral? Because yes, guys, I do see y'all talking about it. I know y'all don't think I do, but I was like, look at Rob over there saying, now I noticed that when I type, you can see that the whole, you have like predictive text. I was like, so does that mean I'm going viral? And I was like, look at him, always leading the way. And so I honor that kind of, I call it love. I don't think it's not that. I don't think you can do things like this without a measure of love for what you're doing. And so the love goes both ways. Like our team, we love you guys. We honor you and respect you, and we appreciate you so much. We want very much to give you a project that has outcomes that you can be pleased with. And my nose is turning red again. That's my tell, guys. You can know. You can't ever see me on Twitter Spaces because there's no nose to see. But that's
I feel that. I feel that 100%. Like you're passionate about what you're talking about, so like it's hard not to get emotional.
Yeah. Too, I remember when I first started investing in crypto, so I did have a lot of good returns. Like I made a ridiculous amount of money, like really fast, but I know that it's not exactly that way exactly, but I know we can still make money for our communities. I know that they can still do well. And so the idea that they're actually working so that we do too, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. They don't have to. They don't have to. They don't have
It's absolutely amazing. It's like, especially when the community members that know how to do art or like digital design, they're like, hey, look what I made. Like, yo, I'm adding this to our folder. Like, you even got the dimensions right for Twitter. Like, my man.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, don't even get me going. I told you, our NFT artist literally just sent us a file with thousands of pieces of art in it.
It's amazing.
And a legend to help explain it. He's in Denmark, and I was like, okay, we want to do a space. He's like, well, what time? I'm not sure if I'll be free. I was like, you're gonna have to be. I have to thank you publicly. This cannot be something that we just do and we just go and put these on display. Like who, that's just massive. But will we ever see? I'm sure there will be another thing like this that happens on Earth where you have something so grassroots, where people come together and work so intersectionally to see a sector of business grow. But I'm not sure if it'll happen in our lifetime, where literally they say it in those angry spaces, but it's the truth. Like we are pioneers. We are part of something absolutely groundbreaking. We're part of God's plan. I think we're part of something that doesn't come around more than once in your lifetime. We're blessed and we're fortunate, and we are blessed with amazing communities. So if there was parting words, that's it. I'm grateful for the community. I'm grateful for my co-laborers that I get to work with, these amazing team members that I have. Marmar, Isaac in Texas, they're just beautiful. And now Crypto Wire, also beautiful, just amazing souls. It's amazing. Amazing to meet people like you, Brittany. Another beautiful soul.
This is phenomenal. Like I love conversations like this. I absolutely love it.
Me too. Mama Joe, all of our guys. Oh, I love all of you guys. So this is not the norm in crypto, but I can't help who I am. I'm going to say I love people. I'm going to talk about God because that's who I am. And that's what I bring aside from my years of experience. Like,
yes, I love it.
Forget all that. If it's not done with love, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Like you don't want a sandwich that was made by somebody sad. Like now it's a sad sandwich. Like
yeah, a tear-stained, tear-soaked, salty sandwich.
it's a sad sandwich.
That's a good analogy. Well, Brittany, it has been truly an honor and a pleasure to chat with you. I hope we can do this again as we go along. Maybe, I don't know, every here and there, we can just stop and chat with our communities together and touch base and encourage each other. I definitely want in on that Mandox Mando X or Mandox. I have never.
I call it Mandox, but if it's Mando X, that I've been saying it wrong this entire time.
I have never known. Because when they first came out, the X was real big, and I didn't know if I was supposed to say it different. I don't know, but I'm down with the NFT. I want to learn more about it. I want to do more with women in crypto. More. So I definitely want us to stay in conversation around that too.
Mm-hmm.
So we will.
Yeah.
We'll be like, Nicole. Okay, all right. Find the women.
No. It's like when you're like trying to leave your grandparents' house, like you end up with another like good 10-minute conversation. It's like, all right, Grandma, I'm actually gonna spend the night now. Like you got me with something.
Let's stay. What's for breakfast?
That's great. No, I had a great time. This was awesome.
Me too. Well, all right. Well, everybody, we thank you for coming. We look forward to seeing you guys again. We'll check for y'all in our respective and each other's telegrams and on Twitter. But for tonight, God bless you. And we will see y'all soon. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.